It's about 3 o'clock there on Sunday afternoon, and you're going to be going on about half an hour. So how do you feel today?
Fine. It gets to be pretty normal for us. Once you get into a one-night concert routine, it's fairly normal. You don't feel too much
Tension.
No.
The matador.
We used to. But not as much now. Yeah.
Is it ever hard to get keyed up? Like the way you want to be keyed up?
Sure.
Yeah, I can see that might be a problem.
Actually, nightclubs are harder than concerts because concerts are more exciting. You know, there's a few thousand people out there. In a nightclub, it gets very routine, so it's harder to key up in a nightclub. So you're kind of always
Seems
excited.
like the minute you go on the stage,
You're excited, you're excited because it's a big roar and a lot of people.
And it brings it right up on that. One of the things that I'm interested in as a person is the attitude that the two of you have. Like as individual performers, you have one thing, but as a couple, as a team, you have a special attitude toward each other when you're working. And my study of other teams, whether they're comedy teams or musical teams, indicates that the really successful ones have a very specifically defined attitude. Do you work on that, or is it just a normal, natural thing?
I think it just comes naturally. You can embellish it, but I think it really is something that comes naturally. Because we really didn't try. I think it's hard to try to be something, to try and strive for something that you're not, unless you're an actor or an actress.
Yeah.
And in fact, a lot of actors, they say it's hard for them to go on talk shows because if they're not playing a part, they don't want to be themselves because they really don't know, they're not accepted for themselves. And we're kind of accepted as Sonny and Cher.
How do you feel about talk shows and interviews like this? Like, what would you most like to talk about in this kind of interview?
What we're talking about. I like talk shows. I like to talk.
So do I. I talked until 5 o'clock this morning.
Must be an Aquarian. I think
No,
Aquarian.
I can't.
She doesn't talk at all, and I talk a lot. So
Maybe the key for our success.
usually it's a good balance because I like to get a little heavier in subject matter, and she likes to stay light. So it always balances.
What sort of heavy things are you into?
Well, you get into philosophy, lifestyle, living, and reasons for living. But I don't do it anymore. You talk me out of that.
One of the things that I've noticed is that some people have been critical of your lifestyle. I'm not one of those people, obviously, know that. But why do you think people have that?
Well, which particular lifestyle? I mean,
Materialism. I read a couple of. I was trying to remember everything that I read about Sonny and Cher, before I came in here, and I talked to a couple people, and I said, this and that, and they said, well, recently they have been criticized because of the opulence of your home and so forth. That surprised me because it always seems that the stars or people of your category are permitted to have that. Now, why would you in particular be criticized?
I don't know. Actually, the only benefit you get is some materialism items, So that's all you do get out of show business. So, and you get it. You only get it sparsely because you can't go to your house every day like you do. For instance, you go to your house maybe for a week
4
out
months out of a year.
4 months out of a year.
So it's a special.
So it's a very, very special thing for you. So
it's hard. I know it's harder for us. Last night was the first time I went to concerts for 5 years. Last time we played a place that was a converted ice rink, and there was a hole where the boards were over the ice, and my foot stepped in the hole. I went flying, and 2 men came to get me, and 1 man stepped on my hand.
I wouldn't have done that.
Very successful.
And it broke all my fingers. Broke all my fingernails, and like down to the quick, I had to put this thing on. I was great. I was cool though. I laid on the floor and I was cried. Yeah, I did. I cried a lot.
You know what I would have done? I would have just been up.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
I was awful. I was embarrassed and uptight at the same
I
time.
was embarrassed for you.
Listen, I'm embarrassed being with somebody with fingers like that. Now, those fingers. Oh, that's a nice
That you felt in front of 9,000 people.
Right, and everybody, my beads broken when I my underdress. Right, and everyone was scrambling saying, I've got one. There's like 5,000 beads on the ground.
Do you ever play tricks on each other on the stage?
Uh-huh.
Do you have anything planned for today, Sonny?
No. We just, there'll be a little spontaneous thing and it'll just happen. But we do all the time.
Is there a point in in your act where like you get like to get over a certain point and into it, or is it okay for you to start?
I like to get over a certain point. I think it's after the
My
medley.
solo.
Oh, yeah, you know, I like to listen to it. It doesn't bother me. Now, I like to do it kind of feels when we go into the Carole King song. After that part, it's kind of like breezing through it after that for me.
What's the toughest thing you have to do? I mean, in your total job, being a performer?
Being confined. I have a real hang-up, I guess, about being confined, like to a place, like
You have to stay in
Vegas
your
or
room.
in your room. I don't like
So you're
that.
in little areas. That's why
And that's
when you do
really
have a
tough.
house or
It's
you do
tough on
have
you.
something large, you really appreciate it, you know, because when you're in hotel rooms,
Constantly, right?
3/4 of the
Hotel
year.
food and
Yeah, hotel food.
it's so nice to go home and see the little things that you know. We just bought a new house, and everyone said, well, you don't need it. And I know you don't need it. I mean, basically all you need is a bedroom, a bathroom, and a living room, and a kitchen, you know. But,
Wants are
fine.
important. Wants are very important, man.
Right.
It really is.
and we don't do that. I mean, there's some people that do a lot more than we do. And there's also a lot of people in the business that are really heavy into drugs, and if you're heavy into drugs, it really doesn't make a difference what
Where
you've
you
got,
live.
right, what
If
you're
you're in
doing.
a blue haze.
Right. So,
How do you move? Like, moving for me has always been like one of the most aggravating
Go
moments
away
of my
and let
life.
everybody
That's
else
what I
know.
figured. See, I'm not there yet.
Go on the road.
I moved out here with my own hands. You've gone through that,
I
right?
hate to move and paint.
It's torturous. It is a form of torture.
We did that for a few years. We started out with a small little apartment, and then we had a series of small houses, and every one we went into, we would move and
and
paint.
paint, right.
Did you paint first, or did you move in first?
No, you
then move
paint,
the stuff again
no,
and
you
paint around?
paint first, get all your friends to come, your managers and everybody to come and paint, and then you move in. Every time you painted white, I don't know why. But that seemed like the appropriate thing to do.
Well, it's a newsreel.
I guess, I don't know.
Well, listen, I don't want to take any more of your time. You got a show to do, and a lot of people waiting, but I've enjoyed this
Thank
very
you.
much. I really have.
So have we.
Good, and I'm going to enjoy the show.
Okay, lots of success.
Oh, we're having fun with it.
Okay.
Thank you.